Is it accurate? Is it producing biased or discriminatory results? These are key questions that are being asked, and it really depends upon understanding what a particular AI tool uses. What data is it accessing? What is it doing? What's that algorithm, that black box, actually doing? And is it producing either intentional or perhaps more risky, unintentionally biased or discriminatory results?
I think clients are starting to think about this question about, can we reuse data that we collected for one purpose for use in terms of training our AI algorithms? So in the healthcare space, for example, where you've got a lot of data about patients and how they were diagnosed, that data is actually really, really useful in terms of if you want to train an algorithm to make diagnoses about individuals. But how can you use that data? Even if you try to anonymize that data, is it possible that the algorithm and through machine learning is going to be able to re-identify that data? So those are some of the issues that clients are starting to face.
On the bias front, we're seeing some lawsuits and litigation focused on AI's inappropriate use of metrics and data. For example, we've seen challenges to background checks, AI that's used to gather information to evaluate an employee's background that gathers information from the web that shouldn't be considered under other laws, right? So outdated information or low-level criminal offenses that shouldn't be by law factored into a background check are being swept up by these AI tools. That's been a subject of challenge.
Congress is definitely looking at this because it's definitely aware of these issues. So last year, for example, some senators proposed what was called the Algorithmic Accountability Act. But, it is the case that Congress often is catching up to the deployment of new technology. So whether or not anything will actually pass is a different question, but they're definitely aware of it and looking at it. States have in particular contexts started to regulate AI. So one good example is in the use of what are called deep fake videos. A deep fake video is basically a portrayal that uses artificial intelligence to create a video that makes it look like someone's doing something that they weren't. So you can imagine a pornographic video, for example, that imposes someone's face and whatnot, so it looks like they're doing it, or a politician that looks like they're giving a speech or saying something that they weren't really doing, and that's using AI to do that. And so there are several states that have regulated or in fact made unlawful the use of deep fakes in particular contexts. Or for example, California has a law that says that you can't use a bot, sort of an automated technology, to try to fool somebody into thinking that they're talking to a real person. And so that they're trying to regulate in that way. So the states are sort of popping in here and there for particular abuses or particular types of applications in terms of trying to regulate those.
So all of those are the kind of cutting edge issues that are bubbling up now. There are no answers to them. There's efforts underway at the federal level and at the state level and even globally to come up with principles that will apply in this emerging area, but it's definitely the way of the future.